We continue this catechism, the second commandment, but specifically about the oath and the vows. What is an oath? An oath is a calling on God to witness to the truth of what we say. Taking an oath is called swearing. It's actually an act of religion to swear. It is a way to give honor to God, to acknowledge that God is the truth, to acknowledge that God is truthful, perfect, cannot lie, and that if you take God as your witness, you take the most truthful person to acknowledge the truth of what you say. Okay. We can say that to swear is an act of religion, is an honor given to God. And basically, you say that the statement you have said is true, and even God, who knows everything, God who is the witness of what has happened, God will confirm himself the truth of what you say. God who cannot lie, God who cannot cheat. In solemn oath, we place a hand on the Bible, or we kiss the Bible. Sometimes we also kiss the crucifix. You can see that this kind of reference of witness we take, the crucifix or the Word of God. If we swear by God, such words are used as, God is my witness, so help me God, as the Lord lives, etc. If we swear by holy thing, we say by the Holy Gospel, by the cross of Christ, etc. If we say upon my word or by my honor, this is not an oath. It's just a way to emphasize assertions. This is what is an oath. Is to take God as your witness. An oath may be simple or solemn. A simple oath is one between two private persons. A solemn oath is one taken before ecclesiastical or civil authority, in the presence of an official. An affidavit. An oath or public oath is a solemn oath. No, an oath of public office is a solemn oath. And the formula used ends with, so help me God, to keep my word. Our Lord swore solemnly when Caiaphas adjured him by the living God to tell the truth. The Catechism is advising us to, of some limits, of course. We must not take an oath of blind conscience, mainly to a secret society. It means you make an oath and you don't even know what is the content. That is of blind conscience. You don't know why you are promising now. Or you belong to a secret society and you make the oath to obey, to do what we are told. It is lawful to take an oath of obedience, however, to a religious superior, because such a superior can command obedience only in such orders as are in consonance with the law of God and the Church. And of course, even if you make the oath to obey a superior, if he is commanding you a sin, you should not obey, of course. Because we can never do something wrong, even if you have made the oath to do it. You know, when the king Herod made the oath to give his daughter whatever she would ask, and now she asked for the head of St. John the Baptist, he found himself obliged to keep his oath. But he was not obliged. You can never be obliged to do something wrong. And that was something wrong. Okay, he had no obligation to keep this oath, this promise. And when you make an oath, it can be only for something good and to bind you to do something good, morally good. A promise under oath ceases to bind under certain conditions. If it is relaxed by the person to whom the promise was given. You have made the oath to assist someone up to the end of his life. You will pay for him rent. You have made the oath. You are bound. But if now this person is telling you, now I am okay, I release you from this promise, you are free. If the object of the promise is substantially changed. Okay, the person was living in a flat and he was paying 6,000 per month, and you made the oath to pay for him this rent, but one day he has change of place and now he wants you to pay 30,000. It is the promise, the object of the promise is changed. Now you are not bound. If the object becomes sinful or useless. Yes, you have promised to do something. At this moment it was good. But now it becomes bad. It becomes bad because you are helping a young man and you promised to help this boy. But now this boy has become a thief, belongs to a very bad group. And now if you keep helping, you're helping to stay in his sin, and you encourage him to stay idle. And you say, no, I will stop helping you. I promise to do so, but it was for good, not for bad. And now you are taking advantage, you are not working because of my promise. I stop. You know, the object has become useless and even sinful. If the reason for the oath ceases to exist. Yeah, you had a good reason to do this oath, but it's not anymore there. And now even the oath itself falls down because the reason has stopped. Yeah, you have made the oath to help someone in his necessity, and now the person is okay. And you say, okay, I just stop now, because the necessity has stopped. Of course, also, if there is a condition under which the oath was given, and now this condition is not anymore there, like the necessity of someone. If the oath is annulled, dispensed, or commuted by lawful authority. This oath can be under the law, under a superior law, or the bishop, the priest, sometimes can change your promise, because maybe you promise to do something for a good reason, but now it seems it's not such a good idea, but you have still promised to do it, and now you go and see the priest. Okay, I made this vow, I made this promise, but now I wonder if it was really a good idea. What should I do? And now the priest can tell you, yeah, actually, let it change it. Let us change it and make something that is more beneficial. Yeah. That is commutation by lawful authority. What things are necessary to make an oath lawful? To make an oath lawful, 3 things are necessary. We must have a good reason for taking an oath. An oath properly taken is permitted by God and pleasing in His sight. No one should be compelled to take an oath, however. It is not necessary to swear at every provocation, such as when friends do not believe us, or to emphasize statements. Such trivial matters should not be the subject of oath. A number of people have the bad habit of raising the hand in a gesture of swearing every time someone doubts their slightest assertion. Thou shalt swear as the Lord lives, in truth and in judgment and in justice. And the first condition is to have a good reason for taking an oath. Something serious and not something light. We don't use the name of God for something that has no importance. An oath can be very important for the social life of the society, because we need to live together and we need to trust each other. It is important. And for some matters, some contracts, we need clarity and we need certainty. And even in the Old Testament, God found a way to solve problems, and He said, if you have a problem, you will take 3 witnesses, they will give witness for you, and now the judge will believe. It's a way, at least you have found 3 witnesses who can swear for you. And now we settle the matter, and we say, okay, things are like that, it's okay. And we need this kind of certainty. We need to be able to settle things. And this is why oath can be a very good way to settle a matter. But, of course, we have to say the truth, and it has also to be important for the social life. But let us also value the truth, because sometimes we have the habit to lie a lot, to lie too much. And people are just lying as they breathe, you know? And that is extremely bad, because that is destroying trust between people. It's destroying the society. You cannot live together with people who are constantly lying, because there is nothing that can be certain now. And people who are constantly lying, even when they swear, maybe it's just one more lie. But this is a mortal sin. To swear is always a very big mortal sin. Let us be careful. It is very important for us to be able to trust each other. We should never lie. In some matters that are more important, we can even swear in order to reinforce the trust in the society. But let us remember that Christ said, don't swear, but just never lie. And because you never lie, you don't need to swear now. People will trust you because you are trustful. That your yes be a yes and your no a no, and that is enough and should be enough. The second condition to swear is to be convinced that what we say under oath is true. It is wrong to take oath about what we do not know, just because a friend asks us to swear to it. You cannot just support a friend and promise that what he says is true if you don't have yourself evidence. Because you are responsible yourself for what you swear for. Now, if you have no personal evidence, just say, okay, I trust you, I believe you, but I cannot swear for it because I have no personal evidence. And it's not offensive. It's just to say the oath is about my personal evidence. And be careful also not to stand for someone too easily. Because when you stand for someone, you really stand for someone. It can be for an oath, it can be even in a tribunal, but it can be also to stand for someone for a loan, or you belong to a SACO, you sign for someone to get a loan. Don't do these things too easily, you know, because after you really stand for someone. And that is breaking now the society because people are in trouble. Actually, I don't like this SACO where you can borrow money, but you need to find someone to sign for you. I really don't like that at all. It's just bringing issues, bringing bad things. Because someone one day defaults, you know. He's losing the job, and now he cannot pay. People are in trouble. And don't put yourself in trouble like that. Don't give your name like that to stand for someone. It's not good. It's not prudent. And if you do it, you take a risk, and you decide to take a risk, and you accept that the person can maybe lose a job, and now you will pay for him now. But accept it before. Look, it is wrong to take oaths about what we do not know just because a friend asks us to swear to it. If we take an oath promising to do something, and in our mind we have plans of breaking our word, then we are swearing falsely. If we take an oath before a court of justice, saying we saw such and such a person in a certain place at a certain hour, and we know we really did not see him, then we are swearing falsely. We must think well before taking an oath. Rash oaths are sinful. The third condition to take an oath, we must not swear, that is, take an oath to do what is wrong. Of course, what we promise must be good. If not, it's not valid actually. We are bound to keep our oath, but we should never keep an oath to do evil. If one is so unfortunate as to have made such an evil oath, he should promptly determine not to keep it actually. Or he will commit greater sin. Never feel bound to accomplish a promise or an oath if what you will do now will be bad, even if at this time it was good. You really promise, you make an oath to assist someone, and that was a good promise, fine. But now this person become a thief, and you cannot continue to help. You have to stop, and you have to somehow to break your promise because you cannot do something wrong. What great sin does the person commit who deliberately calls on God to bear witness to a lie? It is a very grievous sin of perjury. And you know, this is a very special sin. Because for the common good, the society needs trust. And when you reach this kind of level where you swear to prove the truth of something, it has to be totally certain for the common good of the society. And even the kind of sin to break an oath is a very serious one. We have in the life of a saint, Saint Nicolas of Flue in Switzerland. He was a very saint man, a hermit, but he was also, before he was a politician, and people were still asking him for some help to solve problems sometimes. And one day he was called for a problem, and he went in a place where they had to solve officially, it was a kind of judgment, and someone was to make an oath that what he was saying was true. And he stopped him. Be careful before to make this oath. Be really careful, don't lie. The person made the oath, and immediately he died. Because the sin of perjury is very serious. And In some society, you could have actually death penalty for perjury, because you really destroy the society, you destroy justice in the society. Because a tribunal wants to be sure, and we need certainty. And when you reach this stage, when in a society, if someone makes an oath, you know this is true, because nobody can lie under oath. Now you have a kind of certainty and trust in the society. And that is very important. This is why the sin of perjury could be even being punished by death penalty to protect the society. You can see the importance of an oath and why we should respect these things. Perjury is false swearing. One commits perjury when he confirms by oath what he knows is not true, or what he is doubtful about, or when he swears to a promise which he does not intend to keep. Perjury is a grave sin because it insults God by calling him to witness a lie. Perjury before a civil court of law is punishable by imprisonment. Regarding the non-fulfillment of an oath, the sin may be venial or grave according to the importance of the matter concerned. The witnesses who swore falsely at the trial of Christ committed a grave sin of perjury. If we have to be witnesses in a court, let us pray God to deliver us from the sin of perjury. If circumstances arise that prevent our keeping a valid oath, we should consult our confessor to know what to do. Yeah, it's when you have promised to do something and you become unable to keep your promise. But you have still promised. What do you do? I imagine you have promised to give 10,000 per month to the son of your brother who died. And one day you are broke yourself and you have only 10,000 to live for you. And you have made the promise to give this 10,000 to someone else. What do you do? Are you still bound? And you should take that seriously and ask a priest. Of course, we have seen the circumstances have changed. And now the priest will tell you, when you promised you were in a position to, now things are changed. And that the priest can help you to make a new decision, to commute or to cancel. But you should not do it by yourself, because you have promised to God. It's better to ask someone, the priest, to know what to do. Now, we speak about the vow. A vow is different than an oath. An oath is to take God as a witness. A vow is a deliberate promise made to God, by which a person binds himself under pain of sin to do something that is especially pleasing to God. A vow is made to God alone. It's an act of religion. An act of the virtue of religion is to honor God. The subject of the vow must not be a mere trifle, but something good in itself, and better than its opposites. You should promise to do something good and even better than not to do it. Not something that is equivalent. Equivalent to the opposite, not to do it. It's a promise to do something better than normal, you know? A vow is the most solemn promise we can ever make, because it's a promise to God Himself. A vow made under compulsion is invalid. If you are forced, pushed, manipulated, the vow is invalid. A vow to do something that will offend God must not be accomplished, of course. So even if you have made the vow of obedience, you are a monk, and now you are told to do something bad, of course you cannot respect your vow of obedience. You have to disobey. Because you cannot do, even if you are a monk, even if your superior is asking you to do something wrong, you cannot obey, even if you have made the vow of obedience. In general, we should consult our confessor before making a vow. It is better not to vow than after a vow not to perform the things promised. So please never make a vow without asking first a priest, because it is something serious. And sometimes people lack of prudence, and after they are in trouble, because they have promised to do that, and it's not reasonable. And now they don't know what to do. Yeah. Let us be prudent. Sometimes a vow can be under condition. For example, in 1248, Saint Louis, King of France, made the vow to lead a crusade if he got over a severe illness. If I get cured, I will do that for God. In our days, people vow to go on specified pilgrimages to get cured of sickness. We must not confuse vows and oaths with mere promises. Promises or resolution. These last do not bind under pain of sin. When you make just the promise to say your morning prayer every day, it's not a vow. It's a simple promise. And it's not a sin if you break it. Because it was just a resolution. It was you were deciding for yourself to do that. It's not like a vow. But of course, however, we should not make promises or resolutions that we are not earnest about keeping. We have made the resolution to go to Mass every day, and you don't keep it. It's not a sin. Directly. It's not a sin. Maybe the reason why you don't keep it can be a sin, can be laziness. Or you are not constant. And that is a sin of laziness or inconstancy. But now if you have made the vow to go to Mass every day, Now it is under sin now. A vow is most pleasing to God because it is a voluntary offering made to Him. The most important vows are the religious vows taken by those joining a religious order, the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. By the religious vows, a person gives up the world entirely, consecrating not only what he does, but what is to the exclusive service of God. Look, you don't only offer what you do, but your own being, your own life, through the vows of religion. Non-fulfillment or needless postponement of a vow is a venial or a mortal sin according to the importance of the matter. If you make the vow to say 3 Hail Marys every day, the matter is small. It means if you break your vow, you will commit a venial sin. But now, if you have told God that you have a very severe illness leading you to death, and you told God, if I am cured, I will give 100,000 Kenya shilling to the church, if you heal me. This is not a joke. This is not something small, it's something big. If you don't keep your vow, now you commit a mortal sin. Because what you have promised is heavy, and you don't keep it, it's now serious matter, and not a light matter. You understand the difference? And now if you transgress your vow, and at the same time you transgress a commandment of God. I imagine you were promising God never to be drunk, and you make a vow, I will never be drunk. And if I am drunk, it will be now a mortal sin against the virtue of religion. Now, if you get drunk, you have to confess 2 different mortal sins. The one of drunkenness and the one of breaking your vow. One sin against the virtue of religion, a mortal sin, and a mortal sin against the virtue of temperance, getting drunk. If we are not able to fulfill a vow, we must consult our confessor about having it annulled or changed into some other good work. The vows of children can be cancelled by the parents. They have authority on their children. Bishop and other superiors have authority to release or absolve from some vows. If you have made an imprudent vow, consult the priest. He can tell you what to do. It is good to make vows, but they have to be prudent. Maybe you want to get a good habit. You always forget your evening prayer. And now you say, I want to make the vow, even under mortal sin, to say my evening prayer every day during 1 month. Now you have something very specific. I want to force myself to get these good habits. And for that, I make the vow, even under penalty of mortal sin, to do that every day. And now you will keep it because it has become very serious. Okay? You understand how a vow can help you. But it has to be specific for a certain time and reasonable. And still it's better to ask a priest before to do that.